easy to advanced hand puppets. Introduction. When was the last time you made a hand puppet? Or for that matter, when was the last time you did anything? Something real. Be honest. Right, okay, then you might as well make hand puppets. And for that, you've come to the right place. An instructive, easy to follow how-to guide for numerous hand puppets that can be crafted from items you have around the house or can easily find nearby. Making hand puppets is simpler than you think. They require only 3 parts. A hand that goes inside a material, and finally, the gesture, that crucial movement by the operator, you, which breathes life into all to make a character. There's nothing else to it. This reference guide will illuminate through straightforward instructions the surprising variety with which these 3 elements, hand, material, gesture, can be mixed and arranged to form novel identities. Helen Heyman Joseph, often regarded as the grandmother of American puppetry, said of the great George Sand's approach to the art, her feeling was that when she thrust her hand into the empty skirt of the inanimate puppet, it became alive with her soul in its body. The operator and the puppet completely one. Puppeteer, it's up to you to decide if becoming one with the garbage around your house and in your life is a gift or a curse. Follow the easy steps below to lose yourself and find out. 1. Hungry Rabbit. Easy. To construct the Hungry Rabbit puppet, you'll need only to find an old cloth or rag. A used napkin will do in a jam. Simply grab the cloth and pinch 2 lengths upward through your fingers for the ears. So easy. And then wrap the remaining fabric around your fist. Nothing to it. If done correctly, and to be honest, it's hard to mess this one up. This should look like an absolutely pitiful rabbit. Tired, beaten, weak, disheveled, the ears droop, the skin sags, and most importantly, so hungry. Yes, if it looks like years of malnourishment, you're doing it right. The rabbit is starving, and admitting this fact is key to selling the performance. You want to be a puppeteer? Then acknowledge the needs and desires of the rabbit you have forced to be alive using only a rag. The rabbit did not ask for this, not any of it. The rabbit just woke up here, made of garbage, in front of a crowd, or languishing in your dingy practice space, or a car, or wherever, but certainly not where it might want to be, in the safety of a grassy field, forest, or warren. No, the rabbit is lost, confused, and hungry. It cannot eat because it's made of cloth, and it has only fingers for organs, knuckles for lungs. It's like a horror movie. Imagine that the hand that made you is also somehow the very substance of your being, and the thing that obstructs all your desires. Sound familiar? Great, now you've got the mood. So when you do the hand motion, a pinch of the forefinger toward the thumb to mimic the movement of the rabbit's mouth, it should look like an animal that knows there's nothing that can ever truly fill it. I believe you can do this. Maybe the hungry rabbit will pick up a penny or crumb in its mouth. Sure, nice touch, but objects and experiences just pass right through it. The crumb, the penny, the laughter, the smiles, the trees, the warm embrace, the nights that stretch onward and possibly long. They are here and then they are gone, and nothing stays, only the wind, until it's just the cloth and the hand again. The desire and its impediment, always inseparable and slowly becoming one. The hunger, the rabbit, hop, hop, hoppity hop. Easy. And the trick, of course, is to find a way to enjoy it, to move the hungry rabbit such that we see not only its inability to hold on to anything for longer than a moment, but also the beauty it draws from each thing that is lost, like bathing in the warm exhaust from some futile combustion. But what gesture of the hand tells the story of loving an impossible hunger? Puppeteer, that's up to you. 2. Little Caring Carrot. Intermediate. Grab a large carrot you're ready to get rid of, or any other similar root vegetable past its prime, and carve a face into the fat end. We recommend an expression of a surprised delight, but any approximation of eyes and mouth will do. Wrap a rag over the top, then around the whole affair, and you've got the makings of caring carrot. Assembled correctly, with your hand under the cloth and gripping the root, this should look a bit like Little Red Riding Hood, if Little Red Riding Hood was an old moldy carrot whose face was made of crude stab marks. Perfect. All good puppets make obvious the difference between some abstract ideal and the limits of material existence, and this one succeeds, painfully so. Now we have the hand and the material, connected as intended. But what about the third element, the gesture? What motion would best animate the personality of Caring Carrot? Look into the jagged lines of its punctured eye holes, and you will understand that what drives this carrot is a sense of innocent wonder at the newness of the world. The carrot just arrived here. It didn't even exist just a moment ago. And unlike the hungry rabbit, it has no need of food, because the carrot is made of food, and so it has ample energy to consider the world and all its beauty. For the greatest effect, simply turn the carrot to face any object or scene of your choice: a clock, a table, a set of plates and silverware, patches of warm light coming through a kitchen window in the late afternoon, a group of friends laughing too loudly in another room, a collection of books, a well-worn sweater, salt and spices on a flour-dusted counter. Then jostle it briefly with a quick shake of the wrist, indicating surprise, before gently letting the carrot tilt slightly upward in a curve, mimicking a swoon, a slow but genuine sense of awe and wonder that these things are real, that anything exists at all, that the carrot is lucky enough to be here and to observe it, to feel that warmth in that kitchen, to see all of these ingredients, their potential to become almost anything, cakes and roasts and soups, the pure weight of possibility, like some great blanket laying over everything, warm and comforting. Anything can happen. Yes, that's how the hand should shake and move the carrot, just like that. But this is not the essential gesture that brings life to Caring Carrot. No. The puppeteer's most important gesture, in this case, is far more subtle, because it's not something done, but instead something undone. The key gesture is keeping secrets. Do not explain that lurking under this warm blanket of pure possibility, there awaits the growl of change, and that lurking at the edge of awe is always terror. Do not tell the carrot that, while it may not be hungry because it is made of food, this is because the carrot is also slowly eating itself. Do not point out those patches of fuzzy green and white mold growing here, the dry patches crusting over there. Do not point out the part we all know has been omitted from the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, that when she arrived at her grandmother's house and pulled back the blanket, what was hidden there in that bed was only her own reflection, an image into which she would someday be submerged and subsumed. Do not admit that we're always crawling into our own mouth, a smile burning at both ends. Yes, if you shake the carrot until none of that feels true, you're doing it right. So keep swooning. 3. Sam the Social Octopus. Intermediate. While many puppets are crafted with small and simple materials left around your home, cloth, bags, food, utensils, and other tiny trinkets, why stop there? Get creative. Slip your fingers under a lampshade and waggle it at partygoers. Put your hand into a microwave and flap it around like a chubby, unwieldy bird. Or open the vacuum cleaner and stuff your fist in there so you can pretend it's a person, like it's your friend, like it's your loud, obnoxious friend who won't shut up, who is always around and never leaves, and who actually you kind of hate, which maybe says something more about you than anything else, or at the very least that you don't know what friendship is. Easy. Sam the Social Octopus is no different and only requires a suitcase, ideally half-packed for a trip you abandoned and will never take. This adds character. Open the case and pull 8 shirt sleeves from within, dangling them out the sides, and let them represent the long, prehensile arms of the clever octopus. Next, put your own arm into the suitcase, roughly up to the elbow, and zip the whole thing closed so that, with your arm raised into the air, you wear the suitcase like a giant glove with noodly shirt sleeves waving beneath. Picture it bobbing through the ocean, beautiful, majestic. Now we just need the perfect gesture to bring Sam the Social Octopus to life. The question then becomes, who is this sea creature, and what do they want? Like most anthropomorphized octopuses that we know nothing about and project our own feelings onto, it wants interaction and affection, friendship and love. It's not unusual. To demonstrate these desires and bring life to the octopus, swoop the suitcase through a crowd, letting its sleeves brush the cheeks of strangers. No, actually, that's too forward. Instead, quietly sidle the suitcase up to a group engaged in cheerful conversation, and then flick the sleeves rapidly in between them as they talk. Do it like you're saying, hey, 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 hey. That'll get their attention. Or better yet, Stand in the corner, as still as possible, with 8 arms, limp and unmoving, just staring blankly at the people. Yes, this is how friends are made. Maybe back into the coats hanging on the door, like Homer Simpson into the bushes, or slip into the closet down the hall, blend in, camouflage. Yes, that's a thing that an octopus does, and so it is good that you're also doing that. In fact, an octopus doesn't speak at all, so quit it with the small talk too, and just hide quietly over here, conserving energy, precious energy, because every calorie counts in the unforgiving ocean of what other people think. Now, as a puppeteer, you might be feeling, why must I rely on the hard exterior shell of this suitcase? And why must I forego the softer, more vibrant things Sam the social octopus has hidden inside? The pink shirts and blue pants, so much more compelling than the banality of the stiff gray suitcase and its walls. And you might be thinking, if I can just get what is inside to be outside, maybe this could all be so much easier. Maybe we can show who we really are. But you're forgetting something. The stuff inside the suitcase is only clothes. Just things you wear, which is literally just more outside, more exterior you keep hidden away. There is no inside, it's outside all the way down, and there's nothing else. Puppeteer, you're not getting out of the jar of yourself, but see that unreachable world beyond the container's glass? You can almost touch it. Wriggle those arms like there's still a chance. That's entertainment. That's jazz. 4. Haunting Hal, the Dancing Ghost Bear. Advanced. As you become more comfortable creating and operating hand puppets, you may notice that some designs ask you to put only a finger into the material, others your whole hand, and still others require a full arm, stuffed into the material well past even your elbow. But the scrupulous puppeteer may wonder, could there be more? How much further can I go? What if I put additional parts of myself into the material? A shoulder? A neck? Since a hand is something that moves through the air, manipulating the world around it through complex gestures, isn't my entire body just one big hand? Yes, that's correct. The space between your two hands, all of it, is just more hand. From this vantage point, whole new puppet materials open up to you. New possibilities bloom. For example, get your entire self inside a mattress and prance. Reach your fingers, then your arm, then your torso and legs into the refrigerator and shake its frame. Get into the oven and swing the door like a mouth. Now we're cooking. Get into the car and drive. Stand inside a building and work. Be in a house and sleep. Hop in a line and wait. Establish a routine and commit. Stay there now. Let the regularity of a well-apportioned day become the material into which you place your whole body. And this is how we make Haunting Hal the Dancing Ghost Bear, your complete corporeal form placed inside the rhythm of your daily life, moving around like you mean it. Do you mean it? Well, if you want to make Haunting Hal the Dancing Ghost Bear appear, then the hand is your body, the material is your life, and the gesture is to goddamn mean it already. Tell them how you feel. Hold a hand in the dark. Ask for help. Try to be with people. Learn something new. Scream into the woods. Allow the world to kiss you on the forehead, to cradle you in the embrace of small pleasures. If done correctly, the difference between yourself and Haunting Hal should become clear. Haunting Hal is the figure engaged in each of these actions, getting up, brushing its teeth, and somehow making it from one end of the day to the next, which is impossible, but it happens. And you, the puppeteer, are the one who watches, the one who observes the animal figure that marches across your life. And the haunting? Well, one of you haunts the other, that's for sure, but it's hard to tell who. And the great advantage of hand puppets over marionettes, says puppet expert Richard Cummings, is that they are truly alive. There is a living hand inside. They vibrate with life. But wait, the curious puppeteer might begin to wonder, if my entire body is the hand in this puppet, then whose arm stretches backward from that hand of myself? This is where the expert gesture comes in. If you move Haunting Hal the Dancing Ghost Bear through your life with enough sincerity, with an earnest abandon, the puppet's own arm will emerge, reaching toward the future. And it should be obvious at this point that this arm, the ghost's arm, is the very arm at the end of which is you, or or at least the hand that is your whole body, stuffed into the material of your own life, out of which comes this puppet, which in turn reaches forward, making you the observer and hand who reaches into the action of your life, out of which comes the bear, the arm, the hand, the day, and on, each reaching into the other, looping and looping until who is the third who walks always beside you? This, of course, is how the dancing happens, spinning like that, hand in hand, and like you mean it. Yes, dancing is easy, puppeteer. Just pretend that you are really here. 5. The Friendly Spider, plus its delicate web and variety show. Advanced. Representing the only shadow puppet in this guide, the Friendly Spider is especially easy to craft. Just follow these simple steps. 1. Switch on a bright nearby light. Then 2. Place your hand between that luminous source and any wall. And finally, 3. Twist your fingers into the shape of a spider. Now waggle the tips for an impressive but unsettling effect. Wow, just like that, and you're already doing the Friendly Spider. Easy. But just a moment. What about the spider's delicate web and variety show? That's a whole different maneuver. To get it right, you'll need to twist a lot more than your hand. In fact, you'll need to arrange more than your whole body or even your life. To craft the spider's delicate web and variety show, the puppeteer must orchestrate elaborate systems of power. Yes, to perform the gesture, one must run for political office, gain authority, achieve promotions, and generally manipulate the broad interlocking hierarchies of influence and exchange that undergird our waking lives. These too cast a shadow: local and national governments, corporate organizational structures, and the levers of global finance, modes of production, supply chains, and social contracts. You must waggle them to impressive but unsettling effect. But how? The untrained puppeteer might imagine that by simply applying themselves, by doing the hard work, studying and getting a degree, making friends and putting in the time, they might someday waggle the tips with the best of them. But this proposition is incorrect. Look around you and admit that approach amounts to mere luck, and the actual gesture is far more nuanced. In order to grasp it, we'll need to back up a bit and ask ourselves, in the case of any shadow puppet, what is the primary material? Is the puppet made of light or shadow? The answer is neither, and far more perverse. The material is the wall. Yes, of course, you realize every puppet has some amount of light and shadow, but in the case of the Friendly Spider, that dial is turned up to 11, making these elements seem almost tangible, but the hard surface of the wall is the only genuine material in the mix. You have to admit it. But where does that wall end? The well-trained puppeteer will observe how the wall connects with the floor and also the ceiling, and the puppeteer will note how these surfaces then stretch outward into the next room, and how each room gives way to the outside world, peeling ultimately around the curve of the Earth's surface and back again, and thus how the wall, from this vantage point, suddenly stretches outward in one continuous plane, encompassing almost everything around you. That is the material of the spider, its web. The puppeteer will notice, too, that both light and shadow exist whether you've hit the switch or not, bursting from street lamps and offices, advertisements, passing cars and smartphones, or simply the sun and moon above. Dark spindles of shadow shift and stretch beneath all, little legs scampering below. The spider was already there before you ever moved a hand or waggled a finger, and it has no need of you, but skitters independent of your intention or influence. So, too, do the gears of power grind through the halls of justice without you or any one puppeteer in particular, and the long shadow cast by that lattice of interpersonal and political tumult forms the variety show, with no need of your hand magic. And just like that, what at first seems like the most advanced of all hand puppets quickly becomes the simplest. You don't have to do anything at all. The more you try, in fact, and the more you struggle, the worse it looks. Don't move. Let the spider come to you. Let it put you in the show. Allow the spider to move you. Feel yourself ushered from place to place by its ambivalent but relentless force. Accept that the list of things which might manipulate a puppeteer is infinite. All of the objects and processes in the world. With each breath, we draw this web in and out of us. The borders between gesture, material, and hand become ever more porous. Sure, you might imagine we retain a secret place deep within our bodies, a surface disconnected from from the wall and its shadows, that we are at heart constituted by some pure thing that is discontinuous and ours alone. But no matter how many light switches we toggle, the secret wall eludes us. It eludes us because it is not there, of course, but the wise puppeteer never stops looking, because what is not there is the one thing that cannot be taken from us. Puppeteer, keep searching for it.